2018 Teaching Forum. My name is Mark Smith and I work with the Building and Teaching team in the School of Business. For those of you who are not in the School of Business, a special welcome, and especially to friends and comrades from Epsom. We're still waiting for our first speaker to come. He is on his way. He was at Melbourne Airport last night, so we were hoping that his flight wasn't messed up, but we are sure that he'll be on time. The proceedings for the day are on the sheets that you've got, and so we'll start without any further ado. Coming in on the train this morning, I thought how best to introduce our Dean, Jayne Godfrey, and I thought to myself she really needs no introduction.
Thank you. Hopefully I don't to most of the people here because you look very familiar. I was going to say awfully familiar, but that's not what I mean. Very familiar. And so welcome everybody, and it's great to see so many people here. Welcome to people from the business school, of course. And also, as Mark mentioned, welcome to those who have come from other parts of the university, including Kevin. We thank you too, particularly for coming across and giving a university perspective on some of the matters that we're addressing today. This is an incredibly exciting time, I think, to be in higher education. Why? I'm looking at this from a business dean's perspective, because business is so disrupted, and I know we hear that expression all the time, but it is so disrupted in so many ways that we have to really think carefully about how we educate our students so that they can not only survive but thrive in a new world. And it is a new world. Every day is bringing something to us, and you'd only have to see that in the news. So I think it's really important that we address that really seriously. And what better way than through the graduate profiles? Some of you will have heard me talk previously about the need to actually work with graduate profiles in order to develop the way that we teach. And now that we have those from the university, I think that it's absolutely imperative that we understand how to teach to them and how to teach with them so that we can do the best thing for our graduates, for business and for industry in general. So this is our opportunity really to take the bull by the horns and to address how we're going to ensure that our students will thrive in a new world, and how we will actually contribute to existing business through those graduates. So it's not just preparing our graduates, it's actually preparing business through our graduates. And when I say business, I mean the broader sense. So if you're coming from another faculty...
Excuse me, sorry, it's really hard to hear.
You can't hear?
Yeah.
Okay. This is so this is recording up the top, but not out there. I will try to yell. How's that? Okay. So what I was saying is how important I think the graduate profiles are, and how important the work is that you're going to be looking at today in terms of preparing students, not only students to thrive in an incredibly disrupted, and you'll notice I'm not just talking about digitally disrupted. I'm talking about demographically, socially, geographically, digitally, in every sense possible, the business world and other disciplinary areas are being disrupted. So it's important that we develop our approaches to preparing graduates for that, but also that we actually prepare business and our disciplines to thrive as well. So I'm delighted to see so many people here. I think you've got an amazing schedule. The program looks really interesting, and I hope that you have a fantastic session today. I really applaud you for being here and taking this so seriously, but having said that, it should be fun as well. And I think at the moment we're all feeling very much that there's a lot coming through in relation to policies, procedures and the like that's coming through centrally, and sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming. But the thing is, I think it's important, and this is what today will help to do as well, to be able to step back and see it all as part of one cohesive program of development so that we can stay at the forefront as a university, certainly for us as a business school, but for our students and for society more generally. So thanks very much for coming along today. I hope you have a fantastic session, several fantastic sessions and a great forum. So, and congratulations to the team who've put this together. I know it takes a lot of work, and I hope that you reap the rewards as well. So thanks very much.
Just run through some of the logistics of how we're going to do it. Can you hear me all right for quantity? So the thing that we're going to look at is, of course, the graduate profile, and essentially the question that we want to ask over today is this one.
Yeah, obviously a deep thought. Actually, that should be higher. So a lot of people have spent a lot of time, not just in this faculty, but across the university, working on their graduate capabilities and writing descriptions of those and the progression statements and so on. And really, this forum is an attempt to explore what happens now. We've got all this documentation, we've got a written graduate profile. How do we live that and teach that and assess that and actually embed it in our learning and teaching here at the university? Just to remind you about the graduate capabilities, there are 6 of them, although there are some that are embedded. So if you're reading from top left, discipline, knowledge and practice, critical thinking, solution seeking, independence and integrity, communication and engagement, and social and environmental responsibility. There will be a test at the end where you will be asked to recite those backwards. In starting to prepare for this, and as most of you know, I'm relatively new to the university. I arrived here in September, and the first job that I was given was at the Learn, Do, Share forum, and that was to be timekeeper. So I was holding up the 5-minute and 2-minute signs. But looking back at the 2017 forum, the theme was Think Big, Start Small. And in a sense, we are repeating that pattern with this forum because we're going to start by thinking big. Our first speaker is going to look at the world outside of university, the world that our graduates are going to, and the issue of employability and what the graduate profile means in those terms. Then Kevin is going to talk about the institutional perspective and all the initiatives that are happening, as Jayne mentioned, coming at us in the learning and teaching area. Susan's going to drop down a level down to, excellent, welcome, Tim. Drop down a level to the faculty and talk about support services and processes and things that we're putting in place to support our staff in the embedding of the graduate profile. And then after morning tea, we've got 2 sessions, 1 an hour long and 1 half-hour long, where we have teachers presenting on how they're teaching to certain graduate capabilities. So we're going to look more closely at 3 capabilities. One is critical thinking, one is communication, and one is sustainability. And we're going to study those quite closely and learn about how teachers actually teach to those capabilities. And then our final session is Raj talking to his process of assessment in a capstone paper that he runs in the health department. So that's the timetable for the day. Are there any questions or things that I haven't covered that you want to know? Coffee is at 11:20. Hopefully we'll be on time. If the coffee is cold, blame Nabil because he's the timekeeper. And if we run over, then he is to blame. Cool. 10:50. It will be cold at 11:20. Rely on memory. I used to be able to do it. In terms of how we want to approach things, so yesterday I was at a very good clear session on writing my teaching philosophy, and these are our learning outcomes. We will be assessing all of these. So the first one included. But we do want to emphasise that people are already doing a host of things, and they're doing them well. And we've got examples of those later today, but just acknowledging that we're not here to teach you things that you already know. And then 3, decide what your next steps in embedding might be. And that may be work that you do with us, and we've got a whole lot of staff here who can support you in that. Nabil's just given me a 2-minute sign. Cheeky bugger.
Just for the sake of comment.
Yeah. I've left 4 and 5 blank, and this is part of my teaching philosophy, I guess, because learning isn't and teaching aren't sciences. There's some controls, some things that we do want to do, and some things that we do want to achieve, but we want to leave it open as well for other stuff to happen, because other learning that we have got no control over is going to happen, and we want to encourage that. And by saying that, I encourage you to bring your experience and your knowledge and your expertise into the room as well, so that you all are part of this learning and teaching experience and the forum. So as I said before, we're starting with a very sort of macro level and working our way down to a more micro level. Susan will be talking later about the faculty perspective, which is sort of a hinge between the two. But our first speaker, Tim Watts, sent me a message from Melbourne last night to say that he was at the airport and on his way, and this morning the first thing I did was check flights to make sure that everything had got in safely. I'm sure they arrived on time, Tim. I first met Tim about 6 weeks ago when I asked him to talk at the forum, and we spent an hour in a coffee shop on Anzac Ave, and I came away from that really just wondering what he should talk about, simply because he gave us so much material about his unique perspective, sitting on almost a hinge place between the university and the world of work, and the incredible work that he does in brokering or facilitating those pathways for our graduates and other young people into the world of work. So please join me in welcoming Tim. Thanks. Want to plug in the thing?
I'm just going to speak.
Are you just going to speak? Okay.